So if someone wants to see what I'm doing, what house I'm showing, what new neighborhood is brand new, I show it on Instagram.
The views and opinions expressed by the participants on this show are not necessarily those of Stewart Information Services Corporation, Stewart Title, or Stewart Insurance. Before you make any investment, you should seek the advice of your investment advisor or attorney.
Whether you're a real estate broker, realtor, homeowner, buyer, or seller, everything matters when it comes to real estate. This is Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. Stewart Title's Bill Knapik and guests open the door to what really matters in owning, buying, and selling real estate. And now, Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title, brought to you by Stewart Insurance. Here to inform, entertain, and inspire, Bill Knapik.
Welcome to the show. It is Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. I am your host, Bill Knapik. Thank you for joining us once again. What a super day it is. As always, I'd like to remind you to go to stewart.com/radio. That's right. You could see the show and hear it. In addition, you can go to past shows for several years at stewart.com/radio. It's that easy. Let's continue and talk with Maria Zavaias with REM Real Estate. Maria, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Bill. I'm very happy to be here.
Well, it's good to see you, and we're glad Martha Palmer brought you forth here today. Let's tell people, here we are in this big city of Houston. You're in the real estate profession at REM. Let's tell people geographically the area that you spend most of your time in.
Okay, I have 16 years of experience, and my main territory, I would say, is North Houston, Northwest, which is Spring, Tomball, the Woodlands, Magnolia, and I would say...
Is that Montgomery County when we say that? Those areas are...
Montgomery
some of them
and
are in
Harris
Montgomery County, right?
Yes, that's correct.
Because we hear so much about Montgomery County these days. And all those areas you're mentioning, Magnolia, Tomball, I mean, they're very popular right now.
They are very popular. I would say the most popular one is the Woodlands. I work with a lot of international clients, a lot of investment properties. So now that the Woodlands, it's kind of like no more places to build new homes, I'm starting to see a lot of growth in the Conroe, Magnolia, and Tomball area. And most of the investors that come from out of state, they are wanting new construction, which is pretty good because of the inventory so tight right now. So the builders are offering all these incentives for new buyers, and it's helping me to sell more houses with new constructions.
Well, when we talk about people, especially you mentioned international, how are they finding your company, or how are they finding you?
Yes.
How does that happen? There's only, because I think there's only like 1 million realtors, maybe 40,000 here in Houston. Oh, my God. But there's a lot, right?
Yes. I do a lot of social media. All my marketing techniques go into social media. My main source is Instagram and Facebook. But Instagram being number one, I have clients from Angola, from Ecuador, from Peru, from mainly Mexico. And that's how they find me, because every time that I post something, I put location. And that location helps me when people are looking for a real estate agent in Houston or real estate agent in the Woodlands area. So they contact me via social media.
That's fascinating. Well, you must have some great social media moves, because I think everyone uses it to some degree with different degrees of success. So let me ask you this. You started with Facebook, I'm guessing.
Yes,
Did you first do Facebook?
Yes.
Okay, and then when did you move over to the Instagram?
5 years ago. I started during the pandemic. I took classes while everybody was very scared in their houses because of COVID. What I realized is that social media was very open to everywhere in the world. So I took classes, a lot of classes in social media. And instead of going into direct mail or emails, I started to see a big opportunity to show myself to the world without limits. And that's Instagram.
So that's interesting, because Instagram I hear so much about. I don't use it. I don't know how. I didn't take the classes, but you're saying you actually took classes on Instagram that are paying you dividends right now.
Yes,
sounds like
yes.
it.
No, definitely. I mean, I really think that Instagram is the thing, especially for real estate. I mean, you can show your face 24/7. I see it as Netflix, like Maria Ceballos on demand, but on Instagram. So if someone wants to see what I'm doing, what house I'm showing, what new neighborhood is brand new, I show it on Instagram.
So when you say you show it, do you post a video? Mm-hmm. And now Instagram, one of the reasons I've stayed away from it is because there's a limit as to the time of the video. Is that correct?
It used to, but not anymore, because on Instagram you have the history part of it, which is the top part, and you can probably videotape up to 2 minutes now. So it gives you a good amount of time to
2 minutes.
Yes, to tour the property.
So
it's segments of 15 seconds. So it's 15 seconds, 15 seconds, 50 seconds, and you can do it up to 2 minutes. I don't do it more than that, just because it gets boring, So I'd like to change things. I don't want to be the person that has all these little points on Instagram. So I just want to be like short and sweet.
Because we know people's attention
yes,
spans
exactly.
are pretty quick. It sounds
exactly.
like you've found the sweet spot.
Yes.
And you're getting a feel, I'm guessing, when you get a result, you said, oh, okay, I'm going to do that again,
Yes,
whatever
exactly.
that was, right?
Yes.
So then what you're doing, correct me if I'm wrong, when you have a listing, you're putting clips of that listing of that home to say, hey, I'm Maria in Houston.
Yes, and I show the house, and I do virtual tours all the time, not only on my listings, but properties that I want to show to the world. Why the world? Because Instagram is open to everybody. And I get DMs, direct messages from people, even in Paris. I mean, it's really, really interesting how social media is working out for realtors nowadays.
Wow, that's exciting.
Yes,
Let's just take a little case study. So there you are. You put a post. Let's focus on the one from Paris, just for example, right? So what did you post to get someone to respond from Paris? What was it? A picture of a house, a video?
A video of a house, and I have a market that is a little bit in the $500 up to $2 million. So the houses are really nice. They are beautiful houses, and I describe the house talking, and also I have a thing that it's called the captions. So even if you are in a room full of people and you don't want to listen because you don't want to interrupt people, you can read what I'm saying. So that gets the attention of whoever is wanting to move to Houston, Texas. And Houston, Texas is on the map. I mean, the values of the house here are affordable. I mean, you can actually live pretty good. I mean, compared to other states, compared to other cities here, you can have a pretty good house.
So
with a good value.
You posted this, and someone in Paris sent you a message. And what did they say?
Yes. Hi, Maria. I love the house. Can you tell me the description of the house? Can you, I don't know, anything that they need? I will send them back. This is that. And then we start talking via WhatsApp.
That's pretty exciting that you could reach, you and others can reach out and get that kind of response. And as you said, all over the world.
All over the world. Yes. It's very exciting. Most of the work that I do is virtual. I sell houses virtually.
All right, let's
without these clients even touching a foot inside the house.
All right, let's do some numbers here. All right, so let's just say, have you in the last 3 months, pick a number, 3 months, have you sold how many houses without the person stepping foot and only communicating with you virtually? How many?
Four.
Four.
From 4 properties from Mexico, and one was an investor. So that same person I sold 2 houses to.
So once you connect with an investor, they can do a lot of things, maybe sell it and then buy another one. So you're building the investor business.
Pretty much what they do is they buy it cash and then they rent it out. That's what they do, and they hold it for a certain period.
And speaking of that, are you seeing those that flip the homes very much anymore? For a while, that was a big thing, and then I heard it wasn't so much now. How do you see that?
The flipping market is tough. It's not for everyone. In the market that I am, which is Northwest, the houses are from 1980s, 1990s. Yes, you can still find under market prices, but I see it more people buying new home, new construction. That's my market, new construction. Flipping, not so much.
And then let's go back to Instagram. So like all things, it's ever changing, and you've established a set of skills to be able to get results, obviously. How is it changing, and what do you have to do as the real estate professional to stay on top of it? And then what if all of a sudden Instagram is not the thing anymore? Where do we go from here?
I do a lot of stuff in Instagram. I do stories, I do lives, I do posts, and if something happened with Instagram, I will move to TikTok or millennials. I mean, millennials are purchasing right now.
Of course.
So that's my next move. Go to TikTok.
So, what about Facebook? Is that forgotten? It's over?
No.
I mean, I use Facebook for this segment. Your segment will be on Facebook.
I know. I would say Facebook, it's the target market is more like 45, 50 and up. Instagram between 35 and 45, and then TikTok 18 to up to 25, 30 years old. So yes, I do use Facebook for a presence, but my clientele comes from Instagram.
What about a website? Do you have a website?
I do have a website.
What's your website, by the way?
It's mariaceballos.realmagents.com.
And while you're saying it, let's go ahead and spell that so people know. Maria,
Maria, Maria, Zevallos, Zevallos @gmail.com.
So, Maria, before we close this segment, it's fascinating to talk about these outside of Houston. I'd love to hear what's going on. And when you mentioned about Houston, I think you'd agree. People have their eye on Houston all over the world, don't they?
Yes,
There's
they
no
do.
question.
Yes, they do. I'm originally from Ecuador, and I would say, at least 3 people calling me to ask me about the economics, the jobs, quality of life. I mean, people like Houston, not only because geographically it's pretty close to Central and South America.
It's a great location.
It's a hub for transportation.
How long have you been here in Houston?
27 years.
27 years.
Yes.
Very nice. Let's tell people your phone number, Maria.
832-358-5055.
Again?
832-358-5055.
Thank you so much for being with us,
Thank
Maria.
you so much, Bill. I really appreciate this opportunity. And please give me a call if you need me. 832-358-5055.
Even if you're in Paris, right?
Even if you're in Paris, that's right.
If you're a real estate professional, then listen closely. Cyber criminals are targeting our industry. They are impersonating real estate professionals, homebuyers, sellers, and title agents. Their goal is to gain access to your inboxes, computers, and clients so they can steal information and funds. Does your business insurance offset these risks? Not sure? Contact Stewart Insurance to determine if your business is properly insured. Visit stewartinsurance.com or call 866-798-2827. Visit stewartinsurance.com or call 866-798-2827.
It's time to get down to business as we welcome Tony Vacker with Leopold and Strahan Realty Group. Tony, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Bill.
Well, let's tell people you are a real estate professional with a lot of experience and a lot of geographic interesting items, by the way. But let's tell people your company that you're with, Leopold and Strahan Realty Group. Let's tell people about it.
Well, I'm with Leopold and Strahan Realty Group. It started in 2016, but we basically opened our office in 2017 on Broadway.
Now, you're talking about New York City?
Could be.
But more like Galveston,
More like
right?
Galveston Island, yeah, Galveston Island. We've been doing very well on the island. I've been a top producer for 10 years with 2 separate companies. I did property management, 35 years. That's my claim to fame to real estate on the island. I owned my own management company at one point.
So that's interesting, too. We'll get to that because you were knowledgeable with so many states, Tennessee, Florida, even Wisconsin.
That's
so
correct.
we'll touch upon that. But let's tell people as far as the marketplace right now in the area that you're covering there in Galveston. Let's tell people, how's it going down there?
It's going well. Now, I don't know if you realize this, but I became a condo specialist. So I
did not.
I do a lot of condo sales. In fact, one of the buildings I farm is the San Luis condominiums and sell a lot of real estate there.
That's a good question. As far as the San Luis, there are, at this point in time, there are condos available, I'm guessing.
Yes, there are. Yes, there are. Whole ownership and fractional ownership, which is a unique little scoop on real estate. Fractional ownership, you would own a percentage of the condo that you purchase. So ideally, it's a perfect second home.
Well, if somebody is interested, let's say, in condo living in Galveston, so that's one property that we mentioned, but there's, as far as Galveston goes, there's quite a few condos, right?
Oh, yeah.
All right, Tony, well, let's tell people about a little bit more about the condo market in Galveston.
The condo market's very strong, lots of buyers out there. Now, last year at this time, there was a major supply-demand issue, which increased the values. So the prices are up still, but there's still there's properties that have been on the market a few more days than they were last year, so I do see it trending down a little bit.
When you're seeing people interested, again, seems like your specialty, the condo market, as you're seeing people interested in the condos, where are they coming from? Mostly outside of Houston, 50-50 or what?
No, I would say probably 50-50. Houston, Louisiana, Dallas, Fort Worth market.
Really?
Yeah, they're all over the place. I mean, California, New York. We have people coming in from everywhere because it's the most affordable coastal real estate.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, for Galveston is one of the most affordable coastal pieces of real estate.
And certainly for people like Louisiana, people, Dallas, it's one of the things you could drive to, right?
Absolutely.
So condos are available in Galveston. When someone is used to, let's say, buying homes, right, and you're dealing a lot with condos, the condo market could be mysterious to them a little bit. So what are some of the first things, if someone wants to buy just a regular condo where they own it full time, what are some of the things that someone should consider in considering a condo if they're not familiar?
The first thing I advise is always read the Homeowners Association documents. That gives you an idea or a window into what's going on the property. Taking a look at the budget's important to make sure there's no special assessments coming down the pike. That's what I always encourage my clients to do, and I do as well, to make sure they're protected. As
far as condos, again, in Galveston, I know I've been there. I haven't been there recently, but there are some that are really old, maybe 30 years plus. And then
Correct.
What about new construction, new condos? Do they have that now?
There's some being developed now. I think the last development was in 2010. That was Diamond Beach condominiums. That was the last one that was built.
Diamond Beach. And where is that in Galveston?
It's on the
by
seawall.
Well, it sounds pretty nice.
Oh, yeah. It's great property.
So other than condos, are you helping people with residential, regular homes or
Absolutely. Anything. As a normal realtor will tell you, we chase the money. So, yes, I help with single-family homes, commercial, and condominiums.
Let's talk a little bit. As I looked at your bio and mentioning those other cities, we always like to find out what's going on in other places. And one in particular that has some similarities, actually, to the Tennessee market that was on your bio, and Florida, they have some similarities to Texas, especially since there's no state income tax. But give us a word on what you know about, a little bit about Nashville, Tennessee, just out of curiosity.
Love Nashville. Great work ethic there. The folks that worked with me have great work ethic. I haven't reviewed the comps in that market for many, many, many years.
Well, they got my attention because in the Wall Street Journal last week or the week before, they were number one in terms of job growth.
Right.
They were right on top of the top 10. Yeah. So that's an exciting city. And then also Florida. You were in Florida as well?
Yeah, Tampa, Florida. Yes, sir. Work ethic wasn't as strong there, but the properties were affordable, and the folks there were very nice. I love Florida.
You like the sunshine, I'm guessing.
I do. I'm a coastal gal.
A coastal gal. As far as someone, go back to Galveston for a second. If someone was in Galveston and they want to sell their property now, the market's changed. It's always changing.
Sure.
So if someone's there now and they want to sell at this point in time, how are you coaching that seller for a listing?
Well, the first thing is I give them a little bit of history about me so they understand that I can do my job. I've been a top producer for the past 10 years in a row. That being said, the first thing we want to do is a CMA, which is a market analysis. And these prices are changing daily. Basically, within the past 12 months, the prices accelerated. And now they're kind of coming down because there's more properties on the market for a longer period. The days on the market, they've been hanging in there for a little bit longer.
How do you see the interest rates affecting the market, if any?
It does a little bit, but honestly, about 90% of my deals are cash deals on the island. People save their whole life to ultimately buy a place on the island to retire. And so what they'll do is they take their monies, they invest there. Even if they're not ready to retire, they put it in a rental program and generate income to offset expenses until they retire.
You're reading my mind. My next question was going to be how many cash buyers are you seeing? But as far as it goes, right now, Galveston, it's still pretty exciting.
Oh, it's still a solid market, yeah. And believe it or not, there's still a few properties get multiple offers. I do perceive that the prices are still a little bit high based on sellers, if you will. When they see the comps, even though there's more properties on the market, they're not sometimes logically thinking we need to come in a little bit lower than that. That's why they're staying on the market longer.
Very interesting. And of course, real estate, I'm guessing you're in the profession many years now. What is it you love so much about real estate, Tony?
Oh, the people, helping the folks. Yeah, and seeing their faces light up when they walk in, they know the property. They know that's the one that they're going to buy. Even when you bought your own house, Bill, when you walked in, or your wife, I'm not sure, but either or, when you walked in, you just knew that's the place for me. And so it's just very rewarding.
And that's one of the interesting dynamics in real estate, especially for the real estate professional. As you look, as someone, a family or an individual looks at several homes, it's funny, you could kind of tell when it connects, right?
Absolutely. And no matter what, they know what they want. Even if you're showing them everything they say, and they'll walk into this one property that maybe has 3 things less than what they wanted, they just know that's the one.
We're talking with Tony Vacker with Leopold and Strahan Realty Group. Well, Tony, before we close this segment, what else do you want people to know? Tony?
Give me a call. That's correct. 281-827-4132. And my email address is Tony, Toni, at Tony, Toni, Vacker, that's V as in Victor, ACKER.com.
And Tony, the phone number again is?
281-827-4132.
Tony, thanks for being with us.
Thank you, Bill.
As we continue, let's talk to Kitten Strahan. She is the broker owner of Leopold and Strahan Realty Group. Kitten, welcome to the show.
Hi. So you got to know about the names.
Well, first of all, exactly, but let's set it up. When I saw your name, Kitten, what a name that people can remember, right?
Yes.
Some people might even say, how did you get that name?
Yeah. So my dad's name was Kent, and my mother's name was Jane, and my godmother was from Boston. She's like, Kitten Jane's going to do this, and Kitten Jane's going to do that. My dad says, well, let's just name her Kitten Jane. And so when it came time to name my company, we were German, so Leupold means brave people, and Strahan meant from coastal community. So it's brave people from a coastal community. And we're at 2715 Broadway, so we're right here in Galveston.
On Galveston.
Yeah.
Covering all the bases.
I know.
And with great names, right? They all mean something.
And so I also have Leopold and Strahan Property Management, and a lot of people don't realize I manage 1,200 units. And I have 12 employees. I have 20 agents. And I always say I'm a unicorn finder.
Well, man, there's so much material right there. I mean, we could do days of that just on the but hit the property management for a minute. So you have a property management company. And again, how many units?
It's 1,200.
All right. So that seems, I think one person that has a rental property, that's a lot of responsibility. How do you even get your head around, even with a company and a team, how do you manage so many properties?
Well, half of the portfolio is multifamily, so 600 of the units are divided with 4 properties with on-site management. And then I have scattered sites, and I'm over 5 counties. And so usually if an owner feels comfortable If you're managing a property in Galveston County, they want you to manage in Fort Bend or Harris County as well. And
Well, that's kind of nice, right?
yeah, and so I actually got into real estate. You know, you're the sum of all your parts. I'm third generation property management. My grandma worked all the way into her 80s in property management, and my mom did property management. And then I married into an insurance family. So
It's in the blood, huh?
yeah. And so learning about insurance, about flood and about windstorm, it really helped me. And so Tony, believe it or not, that you met, she was my boss. I was in corporate America, and I managed 2,096 units working under her. And then my other boss is actually assisting me, Suzanne Estrada. She was one of my bosses. And so my son actually needed to have a kidney removed. And so I had to get out of corporate America and find something that I could make the same money and be closer to home. And
Help your son.
Mm-hmm. So one of my other mentors was Jim Spurgeon. And I said, look, when I work, I'll work harder than anybody you know. But when I have to be off, I have to be off. And so I was like, I'm getting my real estate license. He goes, I've always wanted a realtor. And this is 2006.
So here
And
you are
right
these
before
many years later.
right before it would. So I became a specialist in short sales and foreclosures and a flood geek and.
But your office is right in Galveston, so you're easily able to help buyers and sellers there, right? Mm-hmm. And then your property management company. But go back to the idea of, again, when you're managing so many properties at any given time, even a person with one house, there's always something to do at the house to fix, right? But when you have that many properties, how do you stay organized, or your team stays organized to be able to handle all these problems that come up?
I'm a unicorn finder. We're departmentalized. So
you got to figure it out, no
yeah,
doubt, right?
So basically there's departments. So I have 12 people. They're the best at what they do. Supervisor goes out. I have an inspector that does inspections, that does my property inspections. Of course, I have a manager that does the leases and the posting of the rent, and then she has an assistant that helps with collection and delinquencies and evictions.
Systems and procedures.
Systems and procedures.
Well, okay. As far as real estate goes, in your role as the broker owner, your day-to-day, are you also helping buyers personally, buyers and sellers, or you leave that to the team?
I actually specialize in investors, and I do a lot of estate sales. So when the heirs are all fighting, I'll sell for the court. Well, I can't represent the buyer. It's a conflict of interest. And so I'll list the property, and they're fun of the way I do it, but there's no disclosure. There's no living person to give a disclosure. So I'll list it just under what I think I can get, about, 5 to 10,000. And then I'll post it, and I have to keep it on the market for 7 days, 7 on the open market. And so usually I can get multiple offers, because once it's listed at that price, it's an attractive price. So it's kind of like eBay. Everyone wants to win at the end.
Well, it sounds like you have it figured out, whatever's going on down there. But going back, when you're talking about the investors, are you mostly helping investors in Galveston? Is there that much interest in Galveston?
Oh, no, I sell the state of Texas. So a lot of times the estate might have a property. I've actually gone all the way up to Odessa, and I've sold in Hemp Hill, because it's all part of the same estate. So wherever the estate has the properties, and then a lot of times the investors, I'll help them with the buy, or I won't charge a commission with the buy. Especially I have a database of like 1,800 investors that I work with. And so what happened is, back in 2007, what happened then, I started doing short sales, because they would come in distressed. First thing you want to do is cut your expenses. And so I learned how to do short sales. Well, a lot of people don't know. It's kind of the chicken or the egg. It's you list the short sale, and then once you get a contract, that's when the bank sends out the appraisal. Well, I had to have cash investors. Well, every once in a while, my investor get lucky and get it for the price they offered. Maybe it was 70 or 75%. So that's when I learned how to analyze investment properties. And so it kind of just, insurance fed into real estate, and it evolved that way, went back and forth. And then I was kind of a realtor's realtor for a while. So if they'd have a deal, income to debt ratio, but because of the taxes or the insurance, and they needed me to cut cost on the insurance, I would grandfather the flood or look into a WPI 8 waiver or find a way to save my friend's deal, basically.
Well, as far as, let's take Galveston, for instance. Right now, it seems to be a very popular place, like Tony was saying. So you're seeing that your office is right there, right?
Yes. Galveston is the 7th most affordable coastal property in the U.S. So our tax base, when you take everything created equal, like I had one of my hedge fund guys, he was like, oh, we're not interested in the island because of the flood. And I was like, really? I said, if you analyze the numbers, the same property, if it was in California, would be $500,000. You can buy it for $200,000 here, distress, invest $25,000 in it. The flood's $700 for the year because it's grandfathered. A lot of people don't know about Galveston. There's the spine of the island that's never flooded. If you can imagine.
Now, when you say the spine, what do you mean?
So
the center?
When they built, the center. So when they built up the seawall, the 20 feet, there's actually how islands are created. There's a spine of the island that's actually an X zone. It's a preferred zone that people don't even realize that it's there. If you follow Avenue O, any of that area, it's not a flood zone at all. It never flooded, not even during Ike.
Interesting. So, but you are on Broadway, right, in
Correct.
Galveston.
Correct.
How far is that from our Stewart Title historic building?
Well, I could ride a bike there. I mean, they're at 222 Kempner, and I'm at 2715 Broadway. So
We're neighbors.
Yeah, 10 blocks maybe.
You ever go
I guess
there?
I can walk.
It's a
Don't
nice
be
place,
lazy,
isn't it?
right?
Yeah. Maggie Green's there.
Oh, it's gorgeous. It's historical. And see, mine's historical too. It was built in 1915. It has the 2 white lions out front. When you go down Broadway, right by the...
So I'm guessing if you live in Galveston or work in Galveston, I could see being there. If I did those things, I could see it take 10 minutes for me to all of a sudden be interested in Galveston history. There's so much history there, isn't there?
Oh, yes, absolutely. And I'm a geek when it comes to historical stuff. Well, you can tell by the way I named my company. I'm all about genealogy. You know, there's one that's around the corner. It used to be a old brothel, and up in the attic they found like a trunk of old artifacts and pictures and stuff. It's really neat. It was in the red light district.
Not sure if we want to know.
Your building has a lot of history.
Yeah, we have a document signed by Sam Houston, right, Maggie? And I mean, and that's just one of the things. Yeah, so certainly Stewart Title has a great history there. As your company right now, you're doing tremendous work. So, Kitten Strahan, before we close the segment, what else do you want people to know?
By far, I do have agents that give their heart and soul, like Tony. She is a condo specialist. I don't think she even bragged on herself enough.
But you can say another brag on her.
She sold his unit at the Palisades for 1.3 and in 30 days sold it for 1.6.
How about that?
I mean, just like that, with very little done. So we kind of fly under the radar. I do particularly because there's no commercial MLS. So a lot of people don't know we've sold more apartment complexes under 100 units than any other brokerage in the last 3 years.
Well, people will certainly remember the name Kitten Strahan.
And Kitten can.
Kitten can.
It came from I can't help you, but Kitten can.
Kitten can, Jack and Jill, all that. Kitten, let's tell people your phone number, please.
832-641-4261, or you can call my office and talk to Suzanne or Kyle. It's 409-941-0010. Again, 832-641-4261 or the office, 409-941-0010.
Thank you so much, Kitten.
In today's litigious society, it is imperative to have the proper insurance to offset the many risks facing your business, especially if you're a real estate broker. Your errors and omissions and cyber liability insurance can help limit the threat of these risks if you know what to look for. Not sure if your insurance addresses the risks facing your business? Contact Stewart Insurance to be confident your brokerage can withstand these risks. Stewart Insurance, 866-798-2827. StewartInsurance.com. That's StewartInsurance.com or call 866-798-2827.
Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title would not be possible without our partner, Stewart Insurance. With a focus in real estate and a special focus on real estate brokers, Stewart Insurance creates insurance plans to address the risks facing our industry today. They invest a significant amount of time helping real estate broker owners offset and manage their risks. Here he is, John Bramlett with Stewart Insurance. Welcome to the show, John.
Always a pleasure, Bill.
So here we are, once again, insurance time. And we always learn interesting things every show, and I'm always surprised as we get to this point in time at the show. So.
Well, I always do enjoy our guests, and it's great fun. And I'm a big fan of Galveston, so it's always interesting to learn more about the city.
Indeed, the curiosity about the history. Every time I think about Galveston now, here in the last couple months, it makes me want to read a book, learn more about, and it really makes me want to go down there. So.
Well, I just spent the past weekend with my dad down in Galveston for Featherfest, and we did some bird watching.
Now, do you normally bird watch?
I just started last year. But my mom and dad have for quite a while. But I just started last year.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that because I just started an interest in bird watching. I looked at some YouTube videos. I've been watching the birds on the trails, and I'm thinking, what a more interesting and relaxing pastime. Bird watching.
Yeah, we had a good time.
So, as far as insurance goes,
well, I mean, as I'm learning about bird watching, we also want our clients and prospective clients to learn about insurance, but also learn ways that they can help their clients understand, or at least give them some guidance on different thoughts regarding insurance. So, as we've talked about on the show many times, there are three ways that Stewart Insurance can help our clients. One obviously is being your insurance partner, whether it be your business insurance or your personal insurance, having you as a guest on Real Estate Matters to help you build your business. But the third way is education and continuing education. And we have 3 classes that we offer for continuing education. As we begin the second quarter, I thought it would be worthwhile to remind folks what those are, and the opportunities are there for us to come and teach those classes.
Indeed, it's always time to learn.
It is. So we have 3 that we offer. The first one was Property Insurance Essentials for Professionals. And what Property Insurance Essentials does is insurance companies look at residential real estate in 6 different ways. So we'll take a look at those 6 different ways and what are the different types of coverage that should be considered for those just 6 different options. So if a real estate agent or realtor or broker or realist is working with the client and their home is going to be their primary residence, that's one type of coverage, versus if it's going to be something that they're renting out, that's a different type of coverage. If it's going to be vacant for a while, then that's a third type of coverage. So we'll walk through that, and that's a 2-hour class. We have the 2 sides of water. Insurance companies look at water damage 2 ways. If it's coming from outside the home and there's some other stipulations, then it would be considered a flood, and that would be your flood insurance. So we would go through what flood insurance does and doesn't cover, what are the true definition of a flood, an understanding of flood zones. And then the second side of water would be the water damage in the home. So something caused by seepage and leakage, or by a backup, a sudden and accidental where you've got a pipe burst. So what are those? What are the elements that a home insurance plan covers or does not cover? And then the ways to look at your insurance policy to make sure that you have that coverage. And that's also a 2-hour class. And then the final one is real estate liability, reduce your risk, protect your license. So realtors and brokers face risks regarding their license and their professional lifestyle every day. So we look at 8 different risks that are out there and talk about those, and what can we do to minimize those risks, and then what are the types of insurance plans that are available to offset those risks. And that's a 3-hour class.
I think about the real estate professional. That's right, they are at risk with each and every transaction, so they need to be careful, have the right coverage in place, be with a company that has the right coverage in place. So they always have so much to think about as they're doing the many things with buyers and sellers.
Absolutely. So it's, how you communicate. How often do you communicate? Are you consistent in how you communicate? Are you
documentation?
Are you documenting? Are you staying in your lane? Are you being a true real estate professional? Or are you telling somebody about a roof? What is your expertise, and stay in that area? How are you promoting a home? How are you working with clients? all those things can end up being a risk. So what are some things that you can do to minimize those risks, and then what are some of the insurance plans that are available to offset those risks?
That's a good word you said there, a good phrase, stay in your lane. You have to be careful because as a lot of us in the sales world, maybe some more gregarious, want to do everything, or we're just naturally want to help people.
Exactly
so
right.
Oh, but yeah. So you have to be careful.
I think it's the latter. I think we just naturally want to help people. We want to be that resource. And that's great, but there are ways that you can be that resource without putting yourself at risk. So instead of saying, your home is not in a flood zone, which is incorrect because every home is in a flood zone, they may be less likely to flood. But what you should say is you need to visit with an insurance professional and see what you need, what they say, or talk to your insurance advisor to make sure that you have the proper coverage for water damage on that home. So, those are the types of things that, so you're providing guidance versus a definitive recommendation.
Very interesting. So in these classes that you're mentioning, you can teach them right here in the Houston area, and you have with many of the broker owners around the city.
Yes.
In addition, you're helping people outside of Houston, Texas.
That's correct. So with our license, we can teach in person or we can teach online. The only stipulation is that we verify those in attendance if they want the CE classes, and then they stay online and stay in the class throughout the process, which is the same if we were teaching it at home. So yes, I can teach throughout the state of Texas, both in person and online. And then for the first time this year, we're going to be teaching about 18 classes online in partnership with the Houston Association of Realtors. So I'm really excited about that.
When's that begin?
Begins in May.
Very exciting. Well, I know as I go to the Kirby office, our Kirby office on Kirby Grove, I go there many times, and you're there teaching a class.
Well, by the time this show airs, I will have taught a class this week.
Right there at Kirby Grove.
Kirby Grove, that is correct.
One of all our offices are great, but that has a great view.
Oh, it's a fantastic
view. On the 15th floor.
Yes.
It's really incredible. So, well, that's awesome. John, before we close the segment, what else do you want people to know?
Well, if you'd like to be properly insured, whether you're a real estate broker, realtor, property management firm, independent broker, or independent title or attorney agent, we can help you with your business insurance. And as an individual or family, we can help you with your home, wind, auto, flood, motorcycle insurance, all your insurance needs as an individual. You can reach us at 866-798-2827. That's 866-798-2827. You can learn more about us at stewartinsurance.com or email us at stewartinsurance@stewart.com.
And, of course, people in Galveston can call the Galveston hotline.
The brand new Galveston, we just revised the Galveston hotline. It's 866-798-2827.
And those in Paris can go to stewart.com.
Stewartinsurance.com. Stewartinsurance.com, that is correct.
In Galveston, now, I would think there are birds there that you don't find here in the mainland. Were there any in particular that you were seeking out this past trip?
There were a lot of coastal birds, but then it was also, we spent a bit of time Saturday morning on Pelican Island where we saw a lot of the migratory birds, like Baltimore Oriole was one of the ones that you don't see here normally, and we got to see some of those. So, yes, it was we had a half a day on the west end. Then we did Pelican Island, and we went out to Anahuac on High Island across the ferry and did an Anahuac refuge as well as the rookery that the Houston Audubon Society manages.
Do you use binoculars or a monocular?
Binoculars. I'm not quite there yet, but there are those that use a monocular once they sight the bird. They'll use that as a sighting tool, and then they can use a camera and or their phone for photography through that.
I'm telling you, last week I was looking at binoculars on Amazon, and yes, it's hard to decide. But I will tell you, now, there are not any coastal birds in my neighborhood, but there are those cranes that stand in the water and they peck around, for fish, but nothing more thrilling than seeing a cardinal, the really red ones. And I get a real kick out of that.
Absolutely. So you can see them everywhere. And it's just, I've enjoyed it so far. So part of my my task this week will be to take my notes and put them. I've got a coastal book where I mark when I saw the bird and where I saw the bird, so I'll be working on that this week.
This isn't a sign that I'm getting older, that I'm thinking about bird watching it.
Well, but I'm not old, so.
Well, neither am I. And on that note, once again, your number is
866-798-2827.
Thank you so much, John Bramlett. And now she is back, Maria Zavayas with Realm Real Estate. Maria, welcome back. Do you do any bird watching?
No, I don't.
You're too busy on Instagram, right?
Yes. And actually, that's what I wanted to share.
Yeah,
My
please
Instagram
do.
handle, it's
Yes.
maria.ceballos.realtor.
Once
so
again?
follow me. maria.ceballos.realtor.
All right, so back on Instagram. So we would have to have an Instagram account to connect with you, and so someone
That's
signs
correct.
up on it, and then they get whatever the world is.
Follow.
But my question is, because I signed up, I think I signed up on it years ago, but did nothing. So what is step one? What should we do? Because it sounds like there's a lot of nuances to it.
Well, step one would be
Get on there,
to
put your picture
download-
there,
Oh, once you have your account?
get your account, number
yes,
one.
you get your account, and then you get your profile picture, and you get kind of like it's your mini bio. What is it that you specialize on? And then you add your phone number and your website.
That's it.
And then you start posting
Putting content on.
every day.
Content can be, correct me if I'm wrong, a picture,
Mm-hmm.
a short video. They have to be no longer than 2 minutes, right?
That's the advice from the people that know. No longer than 2 minutes.
How long was the course you took for Instagram?
45 days, the first
Really?
one, yes. And then, but I always take courses on Instagram because that's my tool. But the first one, it was 45 days. And they will give you these challenges to do like something very out of the ordinary just to get on your comfort zone. Because Instagram, when you do it live, you have to, I mean, it's not editing. It's how it goes. So you need to feel
So you can
natural.
do it live too. Very, very interesting.
And the more you do it, the more natural it becomes. And for me, I can videotape myself and then switch cameras and go to the tour of the house.
And you came from Ecuador,
Yes,
right? How many
originally
years
from
ago?
Ecuador. 26 years.
Did you ever go back?
Yes, every other year.
A quick word on the market in Ecuador. They have real estate, right?
Yes.
Is the process the same where they have real estate agents? Well, who? If there's no agents, what do they have? What is it?
We do have agents back in Ecuador, but what we don't have is title insurance. You go to the notary, you sign,
Yeah.
kind of like it's a contract, and that's it. No title insurance.
But are there agents, real estate agents?
Yes, yes.
So you have regular agents,
Yes.
and they list and help buyers.
We're not as strict as in here. Here you have to take several classes. Over there is a little bit more flexible.
Very interesting. Maria Zavayas.
Yes.
Did I say it right?
Yes,
Look at that, I'm
Ceballos.
trying.
Yes, Maria Ceballos.
Realm Real Estate. Maria, let's tell people how they can reach you.
They can reach me at 832-358-5055, and my email is mariaceballosrealtor@gmail.com. And please don't forget my handle at Instagram, maria.ceballos.realtor.
Thank you so much for being
Thank you
with
so
us.
much, Bill. Thank you.
And she is back, Kitten Strayhand, with Leopold and Strayhand. Well, Kitten, here we are again. Now, we talked about bird watching, and you told me prior, as we talked a little bit about Nashville, that the state bird in Nashville is what?
The construction crane.
That's what I mean. They're getting a lot of action there in
It's
Nashville.
funny. I just went to Quintana State Park, and I did bird watching with the Boy Scouts. I was with a Boy Scout leader for 10 years. My son was an Eagle Scout. So
Is that right? So you were doing, where was the bird? Did you do your bird watching?
There's a lookout tower at Quintana State Park.
And
over
where's
there.
that?
It's right off of 288.
Here in Houston. Oh,
No,
okay.
by Surfside. You can go down
Oh, my
Blue Water
goodness.
Highway, and then you just turn and go right there.
Let the word go forth. Forget pickleball. Let's do some bird watching.
Yeah, there was like the first season. It's really nice. It's like a 60-foot tower. You can look. You should go, John. You'd love it.
All right.
I want you to come and teach your class to my agents. We need you.
See that? Well, that's
we need,
right.
Yeah, we need John.
Yeah, he'll be there.
I know. It's been a hot minute. I've been out of it for a little while, but I'm a nerd, so I want to know.
So, in the meantime, Kitten, what else do you want people to know about the real estate market in Galveston or anywhere else that you're serving?
I want you to know that Tony Backer, I know I have to plug Tony Backer again. She really is the condo specialist. There's a little more paperwork. There's a little more involved, a lot of resale certificates.
I think for the buyer, the potential buyer, there's a little more to read, too, because when you're dealing with the various condo associations, right?
And she's probably the only realtor on the island that I know that does the quarter share, where you can buy, you actually own part of the year. So you share it with like 3 other owners if it's a quarter share. So a lot of realtors referred to her because she took the time to learn all the ins and outs, and she is very good at what she does. And then we have a commercial broker that works with us, Rick Wade. He was #1 for a long time, and he uses Stewart. A lot of people don't realize you guys have that commercial division.
Yes, we do.
Always very helpful. Always like the USCC and the Uniform Code, and just kind of keeping us in line. They help me with my estate sales, hunt down errors. You guys do a lot for me, I have to admit, and work late and stay late and go the extra mile.
We definitely have dedicated professionals, and our company's almost 130 years old, I believe, in October. So we're here. We were there yesterday, 130 years ago, and we're here tomorrow.
And I'll be here 50 years in October.
Is that right? 50. How about that? All right.
50 is the new 40, right, Bill?
I'm almost 50, just saying. Well, thank you so much, Kitten. And let's tell people how they can reach out to you, Kitten Strahan at Leopold and Strahan.
832-641-4261. And Tony had to go show $1 Million House, so I wanted to do her for also 281-827-4132 is Tony's number. Again, 281-827-4132.
Thank you so much. So we'll see you on the island sometime soon.
Mm-hmm. Perfect.
Thanks for being with us. And thank you all for listening to Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. I am your host, Bill Knapik, together with John Bramlett, Larry Warren, Tom Carpentier, Maggie Green, Martha Palmer. Yeah, they were the casting directors of the show here today. Our BDOs, Business Development Officers, Maggie Green in Galveston, Martha Palmer right there in beautiful Spring, Texas, in areas northwest of the city. All areas here in Houston. If you're listening on the internet, we're expanding in every direction. It's very exciting here in Houston, Texas. Come and see us sometime. But don't forget to go to stewart.com/radio. That's right. You could see the guests right here and hear past shows for several years at stewart.com/radio. Thanks for being with us. We'll see you next week.
In today's litigious society, it is imperative to have the proper insurance to offset the many risks facing your business, especially if you're a real estate broker. Your errors and omissions and cyber liability insurance can help limit the threat of these risks if you know what to look for. Not sure if your insurance addresses the risks facing your business? Contact Stewart Insurance to be confident your brokerage can withstand these risks. Stewart Insurance, 866-798-2827. StewartInsurance.com. That's StewartInsurance.com or call 866-798-2827. If you're a real estate professional, then listen closely. Cyber criminals are targeting our industry. They are impersonating real estate professionals, homebuyers, sellers, and title agents. Their goal is to gain access to your inboxes, computers, and clients so they can steal information and funds. Does your business insurance offset these risks? Not sure? Contact Stewart Insurance to determine if your business is properly insured. Visit StewartInsurance.com or call 866-798-2827. Visit StewartInsurance.com or call 866-798-2827.
When it comes to real estate, everything matters. Whether you're a broker, realtor, homeowner, buyer, or seller, for informative and entertaining information when it comes to owning, buying, and selling real estate, tune in Sundays at 5 p.m. to Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title, brought to you by Stewart Insurance.